Young Urban Sound is a radio station that I actually made up myself. So that is also a station for the city, but only Amsterdam. But you see on television, you think it has to be also a mirror for yourself. And if you don't see that on television, then you're also gonna doubt yourself. Because then you're gonna see, I'm not normal, and I'm not one of the people of my country. Thanks, nice for having me.
Thanks. Can you tell me your full name, your occupation, and your nationality?
I'm Jaleesa Clows. I work for Phonics. I'm the producer of the radio program Jouw Stad Amsterdam Utrecht. I'm born and raised in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and my mother and my parents are from Suriname.
Thank you. So culturally, how would you describe yourself?
Well, people who were born in Amsterdam, they call themselves an Amsterdammer. But if you look at me, then you see a brown-skinned girl. So yeah, I prefer myself. I see myself as Jaleesa, Suriname girl who lives in Amsterdam.
This project is all about the diaspora and like the beauty in the diaspora and the creativity that we have. I have a question I ask a lot of people now. When did you first know you were different to the rest of your friends in school? When was the first time maybe you were called black or called, oh, how come you have different color skin or...
That was already like at basic school, because in my class I was like, maybe we were with two brown people in the class, and the rest was or white, but we also had like another other culture from Morocco and Turkey. So it was, you didn't feel like that you were very different, because everybody was different, but you knew that you wasn't white, so it was not like the whole Dutch girl. You were like, okay, you're born and raised in Dutch, but you also have another culture. Your roots are also somewhere else. And that you also, when you had like some projects, and you have in the basic school, you had to give we call it spreekbeurt. I don't know actually how you call that, a presentation. And then you can choose a subject, and I always choose subjects, I always did a presentation of other countries. So I went to Venezuela, so I had a presentation of Venezuela. My parents were born in Suriname, so I had a presentation about Suriname, and at the end of the presentation I always give people like souvenirs from that country, and that was like my grandmother's pastry, we call that, like food. So I share food in the class, because that's where the Suriname always also, that are the benchmark food. So that's when you also know you are different, also with the parties, with the food, and with your culture activities, what you do at home.
Do you think you have to make a choice being Surinamese or Dutch or both? How do you look at those two components of your culture?
Sometimes you have to choose. Nah, you don't choose. Maybe it's strange to say, but you are who you are, and some things are like typical Dutch from you inside, or some things are just like Suriname. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I actually I don't know if I choose. I think I do things that I think it's the best, or things that's most near me or close to me to do. Yeah.
How does having the Surinamese background influence your work, or doesn't?
Um, yeah, it does influence your work. Um, But now where the company that I now work at, like at Phonics, it's so diverse. So everybody accept actually, and they like the things you are and what's the background, and they're just curious. Or some people have the same background, so you just can how do you say that? You can connect easily with your colleague, and um, and also because at Phonics,
Maybe you can tell us a bit about the radio station. So, because you mentioned that it sounds like it's a mixed cultural group background.
yeah,
But for those who don't know, can you tell us what kind of music you work on and why it has that cultural connection?
yeah. I work for two actually radio station. One, it's really my job, so I can pay for I get paid for it. That's Phonics. So Phonics is an urban radio station for young citizens in the city. In the city, I mean like Amsterdam, but you also Rotterdam, Den Haag, and also Utrecht. And the people who work there are like a mirror also of the city. So it's very diverse. So you have Suriname people, you have like, we call it Antilla, Nederlands Antilla, from Aruba, from Curacao. We have people from Turkey, Morocco. So it's very diverse. It's like, if you see what you see in the cities, it's also working at that radio station. And Young Urban Sound is a radio station that I actually made up myself. So that is also a station for the city, but only Amsterdam, because it's for Salto, and Salto is a radio station that is made for Amsterdam people, but also made from Amsterdam people. So, and with that, that is just a mix of everything. It's like Dutch, it's like like Mokum, like Volks radio. You have like where we do Young Urban Sound. You have like Greek, you have like Italian. So that's a mix of also the city, and what you see at Phonics, why your culture, what I have, Suriname culture is, it's not strange, so you can relate with your colleagues. So if you telling somebody from, I went to my grandma's party, there was so much food, and we were dancing, then people understand. It's like, oh yeah, oh, at my aunt we also do that. And other people, maybe if you work in a white company, they say, so many food, dancing, oh, you see. So people don't look strange at you.
So that brings me on to representation. Part of my mission on this project is to represent more and more people of color, diverse people,
Yeah.
and their talent. What do you think is the importance of representation of the diaspora in the Netherlands on screen, in advertising, in cinema?
Yeah.
What do you think is the importance of that from your point of view and your community?
Well, it's very important because what you see on television, you think it has to be also a mirror for yourself. And if you don't see that on television, then you're also gonna doubt yourself, because then you're gonna see how I'm not normal, and I'm not one of the people of my country. So and what you see on television or in the media is less more black people actually. I think they're working on it because it's now more than it was before, but still it's not compatible with the white person you see on the television. So yeah.
The music scene seems to be a little bit ahead from what I see in terms of representation than maybe cinema. You work in the music area. What do you think is the advantage of being part of diaspora and creating music?
When the urban scene it's sky high, and I think also social media has a big role in that of popularity. So because at social media you can do your own thing, you know, you can be who you want to be.
That's good. I remember we talked about young Kio.
Yeah, young kid.
What are your thoughts about him being Dutch, being of the diaspora, and circumventing the mainstream in order to carve out his own career? Can you speak about that and maybe mention some artists you currently know? Young
Can
Kio.
Yeah, young Kyo.
Yeah, if my question is, or maybe my assumption is that as a diaspora Dutch
Yeah,
person,
yeah,
you don't have to hit your head against the mainstream Dutch industry. You can actually use the fact you speak English and you're part of diaspora to circumvent, to go around it
yeah,
and reach an audience and create your own career
yeah.
without having to really hit the doors in the Dutch scene
Yeah.
or depend on it. What are your thoughts around that?
Um, well, but maybe that is his dream, you know, to not go in the or in the Dutch audience. Maybe he wants to go wider. And if you're a producer, it's much easier because he don't rap. He don't. It's only like a sound you hear. And if you have that kind of way to make a good beat and to, yeah, if you know what the people want to hear and what the rappers want to have for their song, if you know that kind of ingredients, if you have that, then you can go across the ocean if that's your dream. And maybe he don't want to get in the Dutch scene, you know.
So, what's your advice for young music artists from the diaspora living in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
What would your advice be in order to make a career for yourself?
Maybe it sounds very cliche, but also stay close to yourself. And you also, if you want to go bigger, you also have to listen. Sometimes you have to give something away from yourself. If you want to go bigger, if you want to be like a little kleiner or whatever, then you have to make that kind of music, because the people like Lil Klein and Busy, they make music what the people want to hear and what they want to like. Maybe it's not the music that they want to make for themselves or who they are, but they know the ingredients to have like a good song, and that is what they make. And then later, when you are like that and you have the audience with you, you can make your own music. But then you also have to choose if you want to stay like the high level and want to make the music what the people want to hear, or you make your own music.
Please like and subscribe. Shout at Hues Films.